Well, hello and a very warm welcome to Business Today TV. I am Chetan Bhutani. Well, CARS24 has come out with a set of numbers for the first half of FY26, and I'm joined with the CFO Shivanshu Makkar to talk about the used car industry, the sales, and of course on the outlook of the industry as well. Thank you, Shivanshu, for speaking to us. Wishing you a very happy New Year. First half of the FY26 saw adjusted net revenue up 18% and a 36% reduction in the adjusted EBITDA loss. What are the core levers that you can talk to us about the excited top line and improve operating leverage?
First of all, thank you for having me here, Chetan. I think a great H1 for us. Four levers that help us increase our net revenue by 18% and reduce EBITDA by 36%. I think the first one was just expanding retail margins across geographies for us. Our retail margins have expanded by 3 to 4 basis points year on year in H1 across India, Australia, and UAE. I think the second big lever for us was UAE, which became our first profitable country. We hit adjusted EBITDA of 9 crores in H1 in UAE. I think the third lever, and which was very important, and we had started working on it about a year back, was very prudent eyes on cost for us. Through tech, AI, a good portion of our spend actually going into tech and AI, which helped us keep our OpEx flat or actually reduced by 1% while our gross margin kept on increasing. That helped us reduce EBITDA by 36%. And the fourth lever was mainly around the new business lines that we have gotten into. So if you look at CARS24 about a year back or 2 years back, we were mostly a buy-sell platform. Now, with our whole vision of better drives, better lives across our geographies, we got into vehicle ownership services, which is your insurance, which is your warranty, which is your challan payments, which has helped us add a high gross margin pool to our profits and also reduce our marketing spends, because now we are able to keep connected with the customer for a longer period. I think the second one in this new business lines was non-captive lending. We have built a very strong base of lending through our captive lending on our retail business. In the last 1.5 to 2 years, we have expanded on non-captive through lending to cars that are sold by dealers, dealer lending, some loan against cars if you already have a car. So these business lines are high gross margin lines that have helped boost the gross margin.
Right, and also you've given a guidance of about 750 plus crore for the second half revenue. What are the key conditions or the incentives or the trajectory that you are following in order to achieve that result?
So I think the levers remain the same. Right, these four levers remain the same. Retail margin is improving. This quarter, India also looks to be profitable. UAE already is profitable for me. So the levers remain the same. I think the main thing, if you look at October, November, December, it could have been a bit preponed for us also. GST came in, hit us by about 20-25 crores in total because the new car prices came down. There was a headwind in the industry, in the used car industry. But I feel it for the long term, it was a good answer for us because it made mobility more affordable. So that 750 crores seems I wouldn't say an easy target or a projection for us, but we are on track for it.
Okay, and before we come to the industry, the GST tax, I want to ask you a very interesting trend. That I saw when the numbers came out, that loans dispersal grew about 38% YOY. So what are you picking up at this point that loans is a good business for you to enter into full-fledged, and what else is the strategy here?
So loans, I think when we got into retail about 4 or 5 years back, we realized that loans on a captive base adds to the gross margin, right? It adds about 5 to 6 percentage points truly to your gross margin and truly becomes the moat for you. Once we did that, I think in the last 1.5 to 2 years, as retail volumes grew, there was a natural growth of say 20% coming from retail in itself and loan dispersals. Over and above that, we expanded into non-captive as well, building our playbook now with dealers, wherein when a dealer sells a car to the customer, we are giving our loan with our loan insurance, with our car health monitors added, so that we are able to maintain the kind of books that we are maintaining internally with our partners as well.
Well, Shivanshu, does it mean that a whole lot of more people are wanting to take loans for a used car? And does it, or is it for used car or is it for new cars as well? And do you see this market growing by how much percentage?
So if you look at new cars, Chetan, new car has always had a 70-80% plus financing attach rate.
Hmm.
Used cars, I think, is the one that has been growing very fast,
Hmm.
closer to high teens percentage.
Okay.
Uh, I think if I look at 3 years, 4 years back, the penetration was lower 20% numbers. Now it is closer to 33-34% in the market. For
Hmm.
us, it is a higher than 50% attach rate that we do on our retail cars in India.
Hmm.
So it is following the market of UAE. UAE is already a 70-75% attach rate market.
Okay.
And so that is one trend that we have seen. We have been a pioneer of that trend and are getting a benefit of that in our gross margins as well. I
Okay.
think what loans does at a more 30,000 feet level is it is making mobility affordable. So all of
Hmm.
a sudden now for EMI of say 9,000, 10,000, a person is able to afford a car in India, which is not like if you're buying a similar new car, the minimum EMIs go to like 17, 18,000.
Hmm. Right. Talking about car ownership, we recently saw government doing tax rationalization through GST.
Yeah.
Cars became more affordable. Of course, it would not be a much of a good news for you. But overall, in the used car space, how do you see this?
See, it was short-term pain for us, for sure, because the new car prices reduced. We were sitting on some inventory. That was the first hit we had to take because we didn't want to overcharge our customers, so we took a hit on the sitting inventory. I think the second hit that came in the short term for us was around your dealers because there was price flux in the market
Correct.
for a good 2-3 months. So the dealer demand reduced. So our wholesale business also saw a downtrend for 2 months. But
Hmm.
December, back to normal, actually one, I won't say even one, but our best month. December turned out to be our best month in terms of profitability.
Hmm.
I feel the short-term pain was worth the long-term gain because as the new car prices have been reduced with the GST, used car prices have followed, and this will again make mobility more affordable,
Hmm.
give us a bigger market that can afford used cars. So that short-term pain of 2.5 months, I feel was worth it for us.
Okay. Moving on to the market overall, CRISIL has suggested about 8 to 10% growth for this fiscal, crossing the 6 million mark. What's the plan for the market share? Where are you standing currently?
See, market share, if you look at us, we are hardly anything right now. And that is true for a Carvana in the US also. It's a 1.5-2% market share. This
Okay.
market is huge. And we are looking at, say, in the next 3 to 4 years, there'll be like the disruption has started happening in the market. We should be closer to a double-digit market share as this disruption happens. We are seeing that disruption already in the metro cities, which is
Hmm.
going into tier two cities. We are the biggest player in India already, but in spite of having a 2 or 3% market share, we will be close to 10%. Like that's what we are looking for in the
What is
next
the disruption
4
that
years.
you're mentioning about?
Hmm?
What is the disruption that you're mentioning about?
So disruption, the full stack online disruption, wherein the customers are not only relying on dealers for buying or selling their cars because it has its own issues with RC transfer,
Hmm.
issues with quality, right? People are willing to pay that extra percentage for the safety of RC transfer, and
Hmm.
on the buying side, the safety of a quality assured. For example,
Hmm.
we have just now introduced our industry first. USPs like 30-day return. So if you don't like
Hmm.
the car, you can return in 30 days, right? This is just us showing how much we trust our quality. We are planning to introduce a lifetime warranty as well on the powertrain for the
Okay.
cars that we sell. So these are some things I feel these are the disruptions that as a customer, when I talk to the customers, the biggest thing lacking in this industry is trust. So the disruption is of trust, I
Okay.
think, more
Got
than
it.
a tech
You
disruption.
mentioned about the reliance on dealership, and of course, you being an online platform. We recently saw an incident in the national capital wherein we transfer was probably an issue, and a
Yeah.
whole lot of people have been struggling with it. Whereas you have been assuring your customers about how to deal with it, and you actually make that process pain free. I want to ask you, how do we regularize this? I mean, I'm sure companies like you have been lobbying with the government on regularizing this whole process. Where are we lacking, and is there any assurance from the government?
I think that I'll answer that in two parts. I'll first answer what we have been doing already on with the customers, right? So what we give to the customers, we call it internally coverage, which is so we get about 85 to 90% of the RCs transferred. Uh, for the remaining 10%, if something ever happens, there is a challan, there is some accident that happens on the car, we protect the customer, right? So if there is a there's a court hearing, there is some due to the court that has to go, that is covered by CARS24. That is the one that we have been doing on a commercial bit or ensuring our customers are in good hands. I think the second one, which is more important, is how are we fixing it through regulations. So the government had come up with deemed ownership centrally about 2 years back. So we have been working now with state governments across the 20 states that we work in to get deemed ownership more operationalized or executed. So the policies out there already, it hasn't gotten executed in a lot of states. We were the first company in the country to get ourselves registered in 5 states. So now we are doing every month about 500 to 600 cars, which are transferred at the moment you sell. So what happens in deemed ownership is that for the first time, there is a dealer who can become a deemed owner. So say Chetan is selling his car to CARS24, CARS24 becomes the deemed owner. The worry from Chetan is over now. Now CARS24 sells it to the end customer or say to the end customer, then the deemed ownership moves from CARS24 to the end customer. So that is something we are working with the central government to push the states and with each state individually to make sure that the SOPs are in place, we are getting it executed. The next phase for us from here is to start working with our dealer partners. We have about 10,000 dealer partners and help them get registered under this deemed ownership as well.
But Shivanshu, the whole dealership market is actually very, irregular and not very organized. And tier 2, tier 3 towns, especially, the word of mouth works for selling cars through a dealer. Then you'll have to do a whole lot of hard work and pain pointing on the ground. So what is the plan there? I mean, you'll have to get on the ground. I mean, I don't know if you have vision for that. Can you share?
So as I said, the phase one was the cars we were buying for retail. The phase two for us is working with our dealer partners. I think what has helped us is in the last 10 years, we started as a wholesale company. So we have built those relationships with our dealers over 10 years and we work with about 10,000 dealers now. This for us then becomes something that we are doing for the customer through the dealers. So the first state we are planning to start it is in Tamil Nadu, where we have reached out to the dealers. I think there were certain issues with the current SOPs where the dealers felt that they won't be able to comply. So we are working hand in hand with the government that it's an irregulated market. You won't get a perfect answer in one go. So let's get the regulations down to a certain extent that dealers are able to meet while working with the dealers that this is truly a USP that will help you buy more cars, sell more cars if you are a deemed ownership registered dealer.
Okay. Any more measures you think should be taken up to make the sector more organized? Any recommendations from the budget?
I think the first one for me is deemed ownership. Like I think this is a great move by the central government. How we execute it faster is the main one over here for me on deemed ownership. I think one step at a time. This is the big one that I would want to get executed very fast.
Okay, and with tax cuts, there will be more cars on roads. That means more used cars coming to you probably. So does that mean your business is bound to grow by how much percentage in coming years?
See, the industry is growing at 10-12%. We are targeting, and if you see my gross margin growing, it has H2, I'm seeing a 35% year-on-year growth. So these are the kind of numbers I'll keep targeting, at least 2x of what industry is doing, because I want to keep capturing the market share as the market gets more disrupted.
Noted. And last question, 2025 saw a whole lot of IPOs. 2026 is also slated for IPOs. Your IPO is also being talked about. So do we have any confirmation or a denial? What do we say?
No confirmation as of now, but it's in the works. In the next few months, you would be the first one to know.
So we expect it before the financial year ends or the next financial year?
I think anywhere between this financial year end and next, like starting of next financial year. So next 12 to 18 months is where we are working towards, but things are in the works. Whenever I have a confirmation, I'll be sharing it with you first.
All right. Well, thank you, Shivanshu, speaking to us at Business Today and sharing a whole lot of perspective. And well, that was Shivanshu Makkar speaking to Business Today, talking about the whole lot of industry, the sales numbers, and what are the targets, and of course, the big bang awaited IPO coming soon from the house of CARS24. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.